Hi students, today we are going to create our warp, which is actually the brown string that will be woven from the top notches that we made last week down to the bottom. We'll learn how to run the string, loop it around so that we create the areas for the weaving. So this is actually called a warp, and it's what we will use as the base to be able to weave and create our tree. So everybody has a paper plate that has been painted like this. We've created our landscape background. We have 2 notches on the bottom, and we have between 9 and 10 notches on the top. The first step with your yarn is to take your yarn, and on the back we are going to take a piece of tape. We're going to use masking tape for this, and we're going to tape it down to the back. Then we're simply going to run it up to the first section. Now when we do this, we don't want to pull tight for 2 reasons. One, it will bend the paper plate up, and the second reason is the bottom part is going to be the trunk of the tree, so we have to have a little bit of room for it to be able to pull together. So I go up from the back, I simply go over to the next one over. That's what it looks like from the back. And then I go back down to the bottom. I go over, I always enter this side and exit that side. I go back up with my string to the next one from the back. I bring it over. I come down, entering through here, exiting through this one. Continuing that, again, making sure to keep my weaving, making my warp not very tight, so I have room to work with it, making sure I have room to work with it. And I continue that through all of my notches, entering through here, exiting through here. Then when I've finished, I'm going to go ahead and create the trunk. So simply what I do is I bring this last section down, over, pull my string through the bottom, all the way through here. Where are we here? There it is. And I begin looping from the bottom around. Now what's very important when you're doing this, you may want to hold one hand right here, is you don't want to loop over the same one so that they're stacked and all you have is a very short tree trunk sticking up really high. You want them to go on top of each other, kind of like my fingers. If I were to go 1, 2, 3, you want them to be showing on top of each other. So I move over, you can see how they're working their way up. I'm making my trunk grow in height as I go. Now you can see the importance here of making sure that when I created my warp that it was not done too tight. I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm probably going to go about that high, halfway up. And when I get to the section, about maybe a quarter, maybe a little under halfway up, I'm simply going to tie the string off on the end of one of them, tie them in a knot, and then cut it. Don't trim it to the very end, it'll come strung, but go ahead and tie it off just like that, and then we will move on to the weaving.